Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day it is for you. My name is Justin Coolump in a whole host of names, and I can't play the intro for you anymore. Once a year, I allow the intro to play, and every year, that's the video on YouTube that gets the whole, we're copyright claiming you for Cage of the Elephant. Cage the Elephant. Now, where we left off is we had just finished up the Claptrap DLC, which was the last DLC. We picked ourselves up a double anarchy. It's a slower double anarchy, but it's a double anarchy nonetheless. First thing we're going to do is we're going to check that room one more time. I know it sounds a little silly, and I know that I said I was only going to check it the 5 times that I checked it, but I'm already spawned into the map. It doesn't hurt. See, double SMG. There's one over here. Yeah, and that's second to last time. I got no SMGs off of that pool. That got me so annoyed. I really do like my double anarchies. I did get one. It's a 6.3 fire rate, or 6.4 fire rate. And at the end of that stream, I actually showed off the differences in fire rates between the two weapons. Good news is, it's still a double anarchy. It's still going to wreck everything as soon as I get a chance to use it. Oh, look at that. The room is still open. Surprise, surprise. Last check, and then we're moving on to the next DLC, which more than likely we're going to be able to finish tonight. It's going to be Dr. Ned's. Terrible Matador. Iridian. Shield. Iridian. What type of pistol do we have here? Desert Anaconda. Iridian. Justice. Iridian. Wow. Desert Stinger times 2. Let's see. Justice, Viper, Static, and another Justice. Here we have a Villatrolic Crux. And nothing here. Well, that is perfectly alright. Like I said, we're only going to check it once more because we're going to save out. And then we're going to go ahead. And we're going to do some Dr. Ned's. Who totally isn't Dr. Zed's brother with a mustache. Spawn in. Now, like I've said before, when it comes to BorderQuest, I do not do battle arenas. I do not like them. I think they're boring to watch. I think they're boring to play. Because you end up spending the majority of your time backing up or using very specific builds where you have to run away from a lot of things. That's right.
Should warn you though that they'll suck the brain out of your cranial cavity like a crappuccino if you get too close. If you'd still like to help, I suggest you turn on the town's defenses. Otherwise, crappuccino. Toodles.
And you have to go to the left. Now the question is going to be, is this weapon going to do what I want it to do while we're playing through this? The reason why that's an important question, in this one, headshots matter. Headshots matter a lot. Seems like it's doing its business, so we're good. That was badly aimed. It's getting kills. Hello, Jacob's Cove. Now, I have come down here before and gotten just totally wrecked. But see, like that. That's going to make this super hard, at least temporarily. Once we get onto that double anarchy, you're going to see a completely different way that these fights handle. Oh, it's down here. Okay, let's go ahead and check this machine. Blast SMG, no. Okay. Should have already been over here.
Too bad that another poor adventurer is going to be zombie food.
I ain't gonna be zombie food, motherfucker.
And you know the drill. So long, fearless traveler. Enjoy your stay at Jacob's Cove.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. What is up, Kermit? How are you doing tonight?
Fearless zombie killer. New missions are available at the Jacob's Cove bounty board.
Yep, to the right. I think I told you this earlier this week. BorderQuest has begun. And I stream every day of BorderQuest until it's completed.
It's like having another soldier on the field.
How are you doing tonight?
Efficient and effective.
Are we talking online or offline? Because one of my things is playing the game online was aggravating. It was so hard, at least when I first played it, it was so hard to bank money that I'm like, okay, well, I'm just done with this. Yeah, and I think maybe they changed the way that they did it. Okay. There we go. This is working better. Come on, corpses. There you go. Down. Next one. See what we got. Explosive raid. I make that joke every year. Freedom goes burr. Oh, man. So, one of the Discords that I'm on is... most of the people lean kind of left. And I say lean because they're Texans. They're like... El Paso Texans. So, they have a lot of varied opinions on things. And, that's where I picked that particular image up from. And, I couldn't help myself. I had to share that with people. I thought it was hilarious. Oh, tank column. I personally don't think that they found a better option than the A10 Warthog for like tank busting. But I might be a little bit biased in that opinion. That has been a personal favorite aircraft for a very long time. Now, you might notice something about the version that I'm playing. I'm playing the Enhanced Game of the Year version. Right before Borderlands 3 came out, they re-released the game. If you already had the Game of the Year edition, you didn't have to buy it again. And it came with a whole bunch of quality of life upgrades, including, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, a mini-map. Because when the game first released, I'm pretty sure you remember this, it didn't have a mini-map. It just had this compass down here, down at the bottom. But they realized, hey, we're re-releasing this. We might as well give them the quality of life that they should have at this point. If not, they're going to pan it again and they're just going to play the old version. But how has your week been? How has your week started so far? The fun thing about some of the weapons I like to use is that they're a bit OP. Yeah, I don't know entirely what that's like. I haven't had to be away from my family. I don't like this SMG. Because of that reason right there. Did I sell off the other one? I have a Hellfire Combustion. Let's have some fun. Yeah, Lord forbid if I ever actually get a lot of money. I will do my best to try and acquire one of those. But mind you, so a joke me and my wife have, it's the old joke, the old conversation of what would you do if you actually won the lottery. We have a standing rule that if we ever win the lottery, anything that makes me giggle for more than 5 seconds is automatically out. Including getting 2 tanks and jousting the tanks. Apparently that is too stupid and too dangerous to do. Any good weapons down here? Surplus rifle.
Almost. I'm getting there.
Law.
Oh, son of a bitch. I dropped the dumbwaiter. My hand just let go. I'll get you a paint on.
Yeah, I kill things too fast. Come on, where'd you go? Dead midget. Another dead one. Although, if that ever should happen, I might need some good strong backs to help me build my zombie shelter. I already have a couple of people in mind to help me out. I think it's just kind of funny thinking about it while I'm playing a zombie, the zombie DLC in Borderlands. All the green things are just brains. At a certain point, you can pick them up and turn them in. But I'm not going to be running around here doing all the extra content. I'm only doing the actual story, which I have about 3 more hours left on my streaming day. So I'm probably going to get through this and part of General Knox's armory.
I probably went about this all the wrong way. I'm a doctor. I make people better. I just wanted everyone to be okay.
Whee! Wrong way. Okay, yeah, that's right. I wish I could get, like... folks like Killer 6 who have been playing this game for a super long time can just take a look at the weapons, like, on the ground and tell you every part to it. I am not that good. Shotgun and a sniper. Battle rifle. 2 battle rifles. See? Like, I can even tell 2 battle rifles there. I forget if we ever got a Hellfire when we played together. I remember, so there was I played with somebody way back when this game was first released, who had a hex item program set up for his PlayStation, so PlayStation 3, so they can add in items and stuff. One of the items that they made was a Hydra SMG. It had all the elements on it. Whenever they started doing the modifications for Borderlands 2, like when people really got into it, like truly modding Borderlands 2, one of the things that they did is they re-added that rifle back, that SMG back into the game. Which I always found to be kind of an interesting thing because it was neat. It would crash the game. It really would, every single time. But I refused to use modded weapons back then because I'm a cantankerous asshole.
New missions are available at the Jacob's Cove bounty board.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm not doing the bounties. And I can't run any faster. I got back on to the Grand Theft Auto 5. When was it? Right before Red Dead came out. Red Dead 2 came out. And I was trying the multiplayer, and I got into a couple of games with people actually on it. Ooh, that's interesting. I'll have to check that out later. And they're like, yeah, you picked the worst time to get into the multiplayer on this. Red Dead is just going to kill Red Dead 2 Online is just going to kill the GTA scene. I'm not sure that it did. Like in retrospect, taking a look back, I don't think Red Dead Online 2 killed the scene at all.
Like having another soldier on the field.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a weird thing to say. Like I said, back when I first did it, it was like on release that I tried to do the online stuff after I beat the game the first time. And there wasn't a lot that I could figure out how to do. Oh yeah, definitely. Always have an appeal.
Getting better all the time.
Let's see. We have a shock artifact. A desert bruiser, which I will not be using. I think when it first came out, there weren't any heists. At least I couldn't think of any. But mind you, this was a super long time ago that I played. I think I may have tried to do some heists last time I played, but it was just one of those things that I never... As much as I wanted to try to get into it, I just didn't have the time to devote to it. Oh no, I had it on PS4. Are you trying to say the PS3 version of this didn't have online? Or Grand Theft Auto 5? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because I never had the PS3 version. I only had the PS4 version. They actually made a PS3 version for that game. Shows how well inundated I am in that stuff. I might have had it. I don't remember. I'd have to check through my gaming collection. I know I have the PS4 version. Friggin' Redbox and their policies. So Redbox was kind of strange. I think they lost a lot, and I'm talking mountains of money on their gaming section. And the reason why I say that is because I think something happened on their software end where if you kept out the game too long, it just failed to charge. So there were a few games, like the South Park: The Fractured Butthole, that whenever it came out, I rented it from the Redbox, and I never turned it back in. Now, I had done that once or twice with other games, and they just never charged me. So they literally probably lost hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars on their gaming rentals because of the way their software was set up. Someone got me talking Sunday about like information security stuff. I was talking forever. Of all the things I can get talking on, that's the big one. Ups, machines haven't been updated. Oh, cool. It's gonna update here in a moment.
Oh, thank goodness! Get me the hell out of here! We have precious little time! Before you go off and help that lying mobile toaster, you'll want to hear this. Dr. Name is not who you think he is. And he's about as trustworthy as my dog I put up for being trustworthy. Whoa! Where'd that come from? Gotcha! Hey, whoa. Just kidding around here. Just kidding around. Feel free to forget
What do we got? A primal masher, yes. Where's that masher at? I love me a masher.
You'll find that door in the town that will require a special knock. I love special knocks.
I love mashers. And one of my favorite things that they did is they brought the mashers back in Borderlands 3. They brought the mashers back.
You brought a spare exorcist with you, did you? No? Nothing? Okay.
Okay, yeah, going the right way. Like, I don't play these expansions except for once a year, so I never remember the exact way through them all. I think I gotta go around and then head over to the boat.
New missions are available at the Jacob's Cove bounty board.
Now, mashers are fun. I think... I don't remember, but I think I ignored mashers and whenever we used to play together. You can't jump down there. I think I completely ignored any masher revolver because it was a revolver. It was slow to fire. But oh my god, I learned to appreciate them. Borderlands 2 introduced us to the Maggie. The Maggie was a masher. It didn't call it a masher, but that's what it was. And that was one of my favorite handguns in that game. And then I was playing the pre-sequel, which the pre-sequel is one of those games that had a lot of potential, but just kind of fell flat on its face. Let's see. Can't use that revolver. Can't use that. Grenade? Good. Okay. But it fell flat on its face because it didn't have enough content. The in-game content was garbage, and the only expansion they put out for it was... It had its moments, but it was still kind of just garbage. By the way, this is Old Haven. If you can't tell from the map, this is actually Old Haven that they just simply reskinned. Which is kind of fun. Hi. Bye. 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 And that is the reason I love these things. Look at that pure devastation of their lines.
Critical, biatch. Target hit.
Bye-bye. You guys don't want to come in here, do you?
Nailed it.
It'll be hard to say. So, one of my reanimated corpses, sorta. Greetings, loyal Nick.
I made zombies. Okay, I get it. Sorry, I've done this
The skin cells
every year for like the last 5 years. Most of it I've even streamed all of it.
right now.
I haven't loaded all of it up to YouTube, but I've streamed all of this. Every BorderQuest I've done, I've streamed it. It's one of the few traditions I have as a streamer, and even if I were to never do it again, like try to hit that point where I can make money off of it, I would still stream BorderQuest.
But at least I don't make popcorn when people are trying to work.
You leak my ass.
Nothing good. We're gonna run over here. I just want to tag that point. Where is it?
Oh, that hurt.
Oh, I have to run all the way down here. That's right. I always get turned around here. Map.
Nailed it.
Okay. Yeah, this is one of the things I do I sincerely dislike about this. I always get turned around because they made changes to the map, and there's not an easy point to just move on to the next section. And I always overlook this staircase. Every single year. Let's see. Nothing. Yeah, that's actually not the way that you get up there. We've got to walk all the way around. Don't we? No. There's that. And this really is a legitimate spot where I get turned around every single year. And I end up doing the same thing every year without fail. Without fail, I do that every year. And I feel stupid for it because I know I'm making a mistake. I know that it's something simple and it's something that I should already know. But every year. Without...
Reorienting satellite dish. Please commence cowering in terror from zombie presence.
A patrol and a terrible scattergun. Neither of which I want.
Or at least close enough. Transmission commencing on 56K connection.
Now, you should remember this, brother. Remember how slow 56K was? I remember you trying... I forget if we had still had 56K back then, but I can remember you getting upset trying to play some Counter-Strike on some 56K. But I could be misremembering that. Man, those were the days. Oh my. Okay. I have to talk about this because I think it's funny. So, there is a person, I've mentioned the guy before, that I hate watch. And yeah, I know it's a bad thing to do. I know how toxic it is and how addictive it can be at times. Because I get serotonin from shitting on the guy. However, I want to point something out about this. He was talking about how Halo Infinite has failed. And it's because they never released any new updates to it. Like, there's no new maps, and they're only planning on adding new maps in like 5 or 6 months. Or, like, they're adding new maps in May or something like that. It's basically they didn't release a whole bunch of content right away. I heard someone else say it, but I was thinking it at the time. I'm like, you realize, like, people are still playing Counter-Strike. You know what the significant updates to Counter-Strike has been? Skins. That's the updates that Counter-Strike has really had in almost 20 years.
Always room for more loot.
They have a better competitive setup. And skins. People still play D-Dust and Dust 2. I haven't played the game in a while, but I know people are still playing Rats maps. Well, I know, like, the core gameplay has had updates, but comparative to other games that have been out for as long as it has, and other FPSs which receive competitive FPSs which receive like regular updates. You probably could. Last time I saw a competition, the actual meta has not changed that much. Save round one, get an AK, or some type of gun the next round. One person buys a defuse kit. Yeah, it's all the same stuff on the competitive scene. You might be able to get on there and have fun, but that's not going to be me. That was never me. I'll be honest, the ones I enjoyed and the ones I had the most fun on and the most stupid fun too. It was this server that was supposed to be the United States beer drinking team. That was the name of the server. Which shows you the level of that server as far as their mentality was. And I used to get rip-roaring drunk. And this was back when I lived with Mom. I get rip-roaring drunk and just start talking the maddest shit ever. What? Yeah, gun game. But yeah, there was one night where I got like really, I'm talking, I went grievously stupid. And the next, like, I got so stupid that night, I drunk posted on the forums. The next day I went back and I'm like, oh, this isn't going to age well. Let me check with the guys and make sure I haven't done anything to get me kicked off the server. I tried to hang out with him a few times, and it was always mixed luck. But hanging out with him at parties was fun. But yeah, I got stupid smashed that night, and I went like 1-20 because this was a custom server. I'm like, dude, how drunk do you have? Like, how bad of a player are you? Where the guy who can't see in real time, like my brain is at like 300 lag, who's killing you? How bad are you as a player? That's how stupid I was behaving that night. And apparently the clan I was hanging out with thought that was the most hilarious stuff to ever been said in their on their servers. I was not a good human being that night. I was a terrible human being that night, to be honest. And I thought about it later. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I should ever do that again. And I never got that bad. I kind of. Oh no, this was not in good fun. But this was also like 2006, when you could talk like that to people, and you're not gonna have a bunch of people getting offended over it. Yeah, I can't do that. Oh, back then, I was trying to bully the person bad. Maybe I was just trying to roast them, but I don't want to discount my intention, and if I remember my intention was pure, as we would describe it these days, pure toxicity. I was not doing it out of good fun. But the internet back in 2006 and 2005 was not a pleasant place. I like how some people describe it as kind of being the Wild West. Yeah, we probably did a lot of stuff we shouldn't have back then. Hi. I might not get to use my double anarchy in this expansion. That's going to be a sad moment. I'm only have one expansion with my double anarchy. I'm so sad. Yeah, back then I was stupid. I'll admit it. What I'm hoping for, though, to kind of change the subject from that, is I'm hoping I can finish BorderQuest before the 25th. The 25th is when Wonderlands come out. And definitely that's something I'm interested in playing. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not producing a bunch of speculation videos for Wonderlands, though. I'm not doing build trees for it. All of that stuff. I'm not doing that this time around. Like Borderlands 3, they had some build generators. And I have a whole bunch of content on my channel that is just me going through that. Going, this could be a neat build. This can be a neat build. And can you guess how well it did me? I think I got maybe 10 subs out of it. And I'm talking about my YouTube channel, not my Twitch channel. And I put a lot of effort into those. And so, yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. I probably could, though. But I'm going to sit down and day one, figure out what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to spend, depending on how quickly I finish BorderQuest this year, I might actually sit down and take a look through the classes and, like, just privately go over what some of the, if they release skill trees, what it's going to look like. But from what it looks like, the game is going to have a lot of the same feel that Borderlands 3 has, just with a little bit more free-form approach to the way that you build your character. From what I understand, you have a primary class, and then you can borrow a tree from other classes. So, it's going to make some of those builds super ridiculous if you can set it up right. But, like, there's a Stabomancer, there's a Cryomancer, there's the Berserker. Like, that's what they're calling it, Berserker. Oh, it's not Cryomancer, it's Berserker. And, like, each one of them has, like, an action skill like you'd expect out of a Borderlands game. But the action skills are a little bit different, and it seems like, at least based off of a couple of them, you might have 2 action skills, you might not have grenades, or grenades might be an action skill, and you're not going to get something like some of the grenades that you have in, like, Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. Some of the grenades, like, I think you should sit down and play Borderlands 2. I think you will actually enjoy it. And, oh, I forgot to hit the button, didn't I? Every year I do that too. But there's a lot of great content in that game. Again, one of the reasons I love a masher. Come on, go down. But, the biggest DLC that I absolutely love was the Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. So, I'm not sure if you remember this, but on the PS3, you can actually set up a, like a memo message that's just on your account. So, someone views your account, they see your memo message. For the longest time, what I was doing is I would take a quote from the game I just last finished, and the quote I used was from Tiny Tina's whenever I completed Borderlands 2 and the DLC, and it was, but it's my story. And if you don't know what that means, at the very end of that expansion, you definitely will. For me, that expansion, the Assault on Dragon Keep, had a lot of heart-tugging moments, but I also have mental health issues, so that's kind of just one of those things. But other than that, the overall game is very well done. There's a lot of fun guns to play with. You can get these overpowered builds, which can be fun. Zero, as just a base character, is broken in that game. So if you ever want to play through that game, get Boar. I think it's on the center tree. And, yeah. Boar is the boss killer. There are certain invincible bosses that you can kill with one hit with Boar. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the invincible bosses, because I'm not sure how much of the in-game content you did. But, the invincibles are super bosses. Like 100 times the health that the original version of the boss had. And then on top of that, they hit significantly harder. I think you also do reduce damage to them, but I'd have to actually take a look at their hard stats to do the math on it again. But no matter what, he's one of the fun characters to play. When I was first setting up BorderQuest, the first 2 years that I did it, because I think I did it, I've been doing it for 5 years. What happened was, the 2 years ago, I couldn't decide what I wanted to play. Because the last time I played through it, I played as Mordecai. And Mordecai, with the sniper tree, has shield pen. Shield pen in a double anarchy, or shield pen in any like type of fire weapon, is devastating. Anything with a significantly high fire rate, which is why the double anarchy works so well with it. Even with the slower fire rate, the ×4 bullets just destroys things. And so that makes a difference with it, and you would just shred through everything. And I'm like, okay, well, I did this last year. Do I need to do it again this year? So how do I select a character? And what I had to do, and I thought about this like long and hard, and I devised the characters into 4 classes. Siren, Sniper, Soldier, and Specialist. One is called a Specialist because it's hard to compare Brick to, who is it? Salvador. And same thing goes for Borderlands 3. You really have these characters who, they don't fall in... You have one character per game that doesn't fall into, like, a traditional grouping that you can just say, this is X type of character. Yep. Oh. It was only a relentless bruiser anyways. Did I hit level 40? I hit level 40! Where are you? Oh, I'm a happy person now. I get to play with my favorite SMG for the last boss. Now, see, I will be honest. This is one of the lowest fire rates you can get for the double anarchy. You can see how much slower it's firing compared to my other SMG that I had. But look at that damage. Blast Viper. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna hold on to you. Don't need you. Don't need you. Bye, 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 bye. Oh no, that's right. I can use this as well. Yeah. Now, this is by far the shortest of the DLCs. I started playing this right before you came into the stream. I've been streaming for 50 minutes. This one you can literally practically race through because of how quick you can do everything. Do I not have the quest to turn in? That is correct. Okay. So one thing you can do, you can save and quit out in most of the DLCs. And then you can just jump back into it. And that'll save you a lot of walking time to get from place to place. Underdome is right out. Underdome is out because I do not do battle arenas. I've said this before and I'll say it many times over again. I believe battle arenas are boring. And I don't mean a little boring, I mean very boring. And this...
You are late. We must speak immediately, but I'm afraid for my own security, and therefore you must jump through a hoop or two. Talk to the mechanic. He knows where to find me. And
now, Athena...
Don't touch him if you ever want to eat with your hands again.
...is the person I consider to be closest to the Siren. Again, another thing I do every year.
I'm cooking up something new, but I ain't finished the booster system yet. Need a bit of secret sauce. Hey, what I'm gonna need is an X372 supercharger, but not the 373. There's recall on that thing and the kind of people burning live and shit. Also a big old tank of nitrous and one of them fancy exhaust booger things. I don't even know what it does, man.
Okay, so Scooter has some of the best dialogue, in my opinion, in this this game, and it has entirely to do with the voice actor who tragically passed away a couple of years ago. His enthusiasm he brought to the character.
Hello, traveler. There are new missions available on the T-Bone Junction bounty board.
He just sounds so happy as Scooter. Whenever Borderlands 3 was about to come out, there's going to be a DLC that's called Fight for Sanctuary. And in Fight for Sanctuary, there's a moment where you can do a really gnarly jump. And it's how the game developers actually gave tribute to the voice actor for Scooter. They're like, yeah, that's something Scooter would have liked. I'm not going to do it because, again, this is not for, like, all the side content. For something like that, that is... I will refer to it as premium content with me.
Well, shoot, looks like the passenger seat's gonna have to go bye-bye to fit that bad boy in there. I'll get to work on that right now.
Come on, next. Come on, lady. These women are some of the most annoying thing.
An Omega Senshu order has been issued for you.
Let's
There will
see.
be 5 teams assembled to guarantee the objective is successful. That was the first. The Omegas are relentless and highly trained.
No, they're not.
Elite. The only
No, they're not.
operative recently
Are they a Vault Hunter?
employed.
The answer is no, they are not. They are not the elite of the elite of the elite. Those who can't are elites. Those who can, Vault Hunt. Yeah, I'm being an ass about it. I know.
Bring them on back and we'll get you rolling.
Now, I did not forget this time. There is that there. In fact, there's actually a lot of little places you can do jumps and stuff like that on.
Hey, one of them crimson bucket sluts put a number on my hand trying to get information on your secret lady friend. Now, I didn't tell him nothing, but I can't install anything right now. Give me a hand getting the stuff in.
And they actually have his hands wrapped up, which is kind of neat.
Hello, Marcos here. I've got an opportunity.
I'm gonna pass on that, Marcus.
Meet me at my place in T-Bone Junction.
I wonder why they asked him to say it like that.
Hey, your friend's hanging with Mike. You're threatening to stab him. Grab one of those monsters and just get your ass moving.
Okay, so something worthy of note is Moxie is Scooter's mom. She does not look old enough to be his mother, or at least based off on what we can see. However, in the first part of the game, you come across the guy
Scooter here.
that Scooter really doesn't like.
Roadblocks in the highway. Just get your murder on and we'll pretend nobody saw nothing.
Oh, and by the way, the physics in this particular expansion are kind of silly when it comes to the cars. You'll see a little bit later. But Scooter asks you to not kill a person, that he's going to do it later. That actually comes back in this DLC. He actually re-mentions who he kills and why he did it. But there is a part he says, this is one of the guys that wrecked my mom's lady parts. And that's a quote. Now, I will be honest, you can ignore 90% of the garbage on the road here. And I'm being a little hyperbolic. It's more like 75%.
Traveler, there are new missions available on the T-Bone Junction bounty board.
Now, this is where the game kind of gets a little interesting. So, at each of these roadblocks, you actually have to get out and then go ahead and do all this stuff to kind of recover from it. We're going to pop up here. What you have to make sure you do... Woohoo! Is you have to make sure you check up here. Is it up here or is it on the other one? Okay, it's not this one. It's a different one. There are a whole bunch of red chests that are all about these places. And because of that, you want to make sure you search because you get some fantastic loot out of these places. Here we go. And you never want to pass up on that good loot. I've actually gotten some really nice double anarchies out of these places. Hello, you. See, as much as I like it, it's just too slow for me. I'm killing a lot quicker without it than I am with it. And that's a really sad thing. Sit over here. Okay. Have you ever seen this content, brother? And these guys are going to drop a lot of Cobra rifles. Oh. Turrets. I hate all of you turrets. There is not a turret I don't despise. See, another purple Cobra. A combustion Hellfire. That's the second Hellfire this run. If you like the game at all, pick up the Game of the Year edition. It comes with all the DLC, and it's all worth playing, in my opinion. Like, right now, you're seeing me just kind of rush through it, but it actually has a lot of little side missions that make it a lot more fun. Oh, look at this. Another red chest, like I was mentioning.
You never have enough stuff.
That was way back in the day, too. Yeah, that... I remember, like, I was a lot different back when we were younger. I mean, I still spend a lot of time at a computer screen. Let's not denigrate that fact. But let's be honest. I was a lot more into going out and doing stuff back then. Love General Knox, by the way.
I sent steel to this planet to take care of this little problem, and also because, seriously, have you heard her? She talks all the time. And hello, have you met our friend the Sun? So, I guess, thanks for turning her into a meat kebab.
She dead.
Kill you and stuff. Cheers, mate.
And that is General Knox. This expansion alone is worth playing through that. Have you played Portal 2 yet? Like, just the base game of Portal 2? I'm pretty sure you played Portal 1, huh? Oh.
Hey, just a quick note about Moxie living.
No Portal? I thought you had the orange box, though. Or was that,
Sketchy as she appears to be on stage. I almost forgot. She's my mom.
treat her right?
Or I'll bury you where I
Buried
buried
Lucky.
Lucky. Yeah, I
Yeah.
killed him. Don't act all surprised. I told you I was gonna do it.
Is it to the left? To the left? What? You didn't like Portal? I now feel like I did you a disservice. I'll be honest, you should play Portal. The puzzles in it are nice, and they require a great deal of logic, which is right up your alley. All right. Then you should watch, when you get a chance to, look up the Cave Johnson quotes. That alone makes Portal 2 entirely worth the playthrough. And I went the wrong way again. Every year. This is another I think has turned into a tradition for me, is to get turned around getting the Moxies. Yeah, here we go. Now, see, personally, I don't see why I just can't jack one of their vehicles. Now, this game, I will admit, has some janky physics when it comes to vehicles. I'm about to show you here in a moment once I get the, I think it's called an Outrider. With the increased fire rate after a kill, it makes this SMG now like where I want it to be. Hello. Hello, Hera. I'm about to make you hairless. Don't worry. So you have a badass Lance Assassin with one of the named Lance Assassins. Alrighty. Stabilized Justice, which is no good for me. Now, normally what I do with a lot of these is I like to save and quit to save myself like just travel time. Travel time is a horrible thing that's in this game, and ooh, I can be into Moxies.
Nice of you to drop in on little old me. Excuse the mess, but a good kidnapping is never clean. Shank busted in and took Miss Athena for a little ride. You should have seen the fight she put up. That kitty has claws. Mr. Shank is after the chunk. Are you ready to rescue the princess?
I still have no idea what STR means.
Head out to the prison. You're looking for an
Cheap. Nothing's good, okay.
I'll be in touch when you get closer.
Now, the physics on the vehicles are broken, but they're not so broken that you can do that you can just do entire skips to locations. What I want to get is a faster attack rate on a double anarchy. And I know I'm asking for a lot, and I always do, and I always joke about how I got the weapon of my choice, but it's not the right roll.
This was a little something I had my Scootykins whip up for me. Got the
Oh,
in her trunk
like you
to
can
storm the castle.
always, playing this expansion, I always... Oh, now you want to behave like you've got sense. Okay, that was me being stupid. That one's all my fault. Okay, where am I? Oh. Nope, I need the racer. I got the ride. So you can see how it's kind of moving all around, like it's got bad latency to it. And it's reading its position as one location, then suddenly a new location, which is what causes that to happen. I think the game was not prepared ever to run at these speeds. So what happens is the game doesn't really know how to process the faster speeds, so it goes by the best that it can, and it goes, okay, well, your physics says you need to be way over here. Let me just flip you around. Now, one of the things that you can do is you can just go ahead and just save and quit. Yes, that is what we're going to do. I don't want to drive all the way back there. And what's going to happen is I'm going to get taken straight back to the T-Bone Junction instead of having to drive the whole way. It saves a metric shit ton of time. Hold on 1 second while I get this plugged in because I did not realize my phone battery was that low. And tonight was the first night I had to run some of the reports that I knew I was going to be running. I also found out at work that the person who was going to be my trainer got termed. And I don't know why. Which makes me nervous. Like, really nervous. I told my bosses, yeah, it was none of my business. I did not ask questions. They're like, that's a great attitude to have. Which indicates to me that I'm guessing something happened between some level of management and this dude. Like, you see the see how bad that is? That is just horrendous. Okay, and what we're going to do is I have to remember not to try and do everything at once. So, there's a few things we have to do whenever it comes to this area. We have to take down the 2 roadblocks. The roadblocks aren't hard. Much like that one roadblock that we took down, we're just going to hop out, we're going to kill everything, and then we're going to turn around and hit the button.
This occupation of Pandora has put a real pinch on my business. When you guys started riling things up on this rock, more people came through my...
But you can see how janky it is whenever you, like, turn on or turn off the booster, how much that tail end on this vehicle moves around.
That's where you and your Chica come in.
I have not named the racer Chica. See, personally, I think they should have the booster fill up a lot quicker. That's... Hello, boys.
Your sweet release is at hand. Please stand by.
Oh, my. Hello, Mr. Probe. Goodbye, Mr. Probe. And a lot of these guys are just going to have these bog standard rifles. Like, you can see he dropped a static SMG. Come on. No.
We got guns over here.
Violence and a terrible shotgun. Which, personally, I don't know if that was meant to be tongue-in-cheek humor, or if they were trying to mean like it's terrible as in vicious. Like, that's the reason I like a double anarchy. Tell me you can do that with any other weapon in this game. It's just melt everything. Without, like, having a specific build for it. I am going to be checking for shields. I could probably use a brand new one. Oh, assassins are here. Hi, Minerva. Are we playing the dancing game today? I wouldn't try to dodge into a pillar. That's going to be bad for your health. What do we have? We have a bad shotgun. Sorry. Terrible shotgun. Let's see. There is not one extra one up here. That's right. Like I said, I play these games once a year. Every year, but I played through them once. I haven't really gone back and done a full playthrough like playthrough 1, playthrough 2 in a long time. It's one of those things I'm not sure if I will ever do again. Partially because there are better games out already. And as much as I'm having fun with these games, it's nowhere near the level of 2 or 3. And I know a lot of people don't like 3 right now. See, I don't like 3. The things I dislike... Let me rephrase that. The things I dislike about 3 have to do with its story. And the villains, I'll be honest, The villains aren't necessarily bad. They were meant to be annoying as all sin. But the truth is, they were fine. They were what they were meant to be. Which is to say that a lot of games can't even pull that off. They create these villains, and the villains that they go to do, they can't even achieve that goal. At least the Calypsos played the role that they were going to be doing. And they did well at that role. Their job was to annoy the player. However, since Anthony Birch wasn't writing them, who was the writer for Borderlands 2, and by far a superior writer, there was a lot there that was left to be desired. Bye-bye. Still have people following? Yeah. What? Oh. Now, game, you're just being silly. Yeah, I'm gonna use the word silly. And there's a lot to be said about the game. The game as like a structure is fine. Personally, I think it did a lot. It improved a lot of things that in Borderlands 2 that was maybe lacking. And I know some people won't like to say that. There were certain things that was absolutely annoying about it, and you're going to see me poke a lot of fun at it once I get to those points. But that game I'll probably be on Borderlands 3 either next week or the week after. I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish up and get to it. My goal is just to get there before the 25th so I can play Wonderlands in peace, without worrying about when I'm going to run BorderQuest and if I'm going to add Wonderlands to the mix. Wonderlands, I don't think, fits into the continuity. If I understand what they were talking about, it's more of a DLC similar to Assault on Dragon Keep, where it is something that happens, but it's not necessarily main story content. Bernie down. You've got more than a man down. But with that said, yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't know if Wonderlands is going to be attached onto BorderQuest. BorderQuest is mainly for these games. It's the reason Tales from the Borderlands isn't here. It's because, one, it's not an FPS. I don't have anything against the Telltale game, the Tales from the Borderlands. It just wasn't my jam. I would love to say that it was something like structurally with the game, but it wasn't. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Kind of like how you're talking about how Portal just isn't your cup of tea. Burn. Burn. Did I see an SMG drop? I did. Violence. Yeah, 2 rifles. But, until I actually sit down and play Wonderlands, like, Wonderlands is probably going to do, I'm probably going to do the same thing I did with Wonderlands that I did with Borderlands 3 and 2. I'm going to get every character up to max level. And I do not mean, because I don't have all the characters technically at max level for Borderlands 2, because some people count the OP levels as part of it, but fuck OP levels. Like, no joke, those things are annoying, and DigiPeak is another version of a battle arena. And like I've said before, and I'll continue to say, I hate battle arenas. Those things are boring. I don't like playing them, and I think they're excessively just... You have to have... For most of those types of content, you have to have a build for it. You're not going to see someone just, oh, well, this is my first time here. Oh, my, look at that. I have no real build, and I just beat it. Maybe DigiPeak 1. But you're not going to get that beyond that. And even that, DigiPeak 1, when you get up to the refight with the assassins, they're still horrible. They are still very frustrating fights. So yeah, you're not going to see me do those. I'm actually quite surprised that Borderlands 3 doesn't have that in it. Hi, Mr. Open Fire. Did you think that was a good idea now? Is there a chest back over there? And I'm surprised because you do have the mayhem levels, but I'm surprised they didn't try to do OP levels again with that. And that's like one of those no-joke situations. It definitely would have done more to expand their content on it. But I'll be honest, I really enjoy Borderlands 3. The only thing I dislike is to go back and talk to Lilith over and over and over again. They really ran that shit into the ground. And I know why they did it. They wanted to have a point where it's being narratively driven. But you kept doing the same thing so repetitively that what you were trying to do gets overshadowed by what you did. Like, let's take this for example. Hello, Mr. Rocket Guy. Right now, I have to clear out 3 bases that are almost identical to each other that look exactly like this. This can be annoying. However, what is interesting about it is all 3 layouts for each of these locations are different. Like the core layout. So it doesn't feel like it's exactly 100% same. What do we have here? Oh, look, a caustic. And that really does make a completely different change on the way that you perceive the game. 3 does have this thing where a lot of the stuff just feels the same. And like I said, it's not that I dislike the game by any stretch of the imagination. But you have all of these moments that do feel the same. Go and talk to this person again. Go talk to this person again. Go all the way across the map and then come back and talk to this person again. Some of that stuff was just unnecessary. See? Car physics in this game. You didn't get much of that in Borderlands 1 or 2, or even the pre-sequel for that matter. The pre-sequel had some moments where you had to go back and talk to people, but it was never go across Concordia and then come back to where you are on the other side of Concordia. It was go talk to someone on the other side of Concordia, and then you stay on that other side of Concordia until you have to turn something on somewhere else. It was still a fetch quest, but the fetch quest actually had stuff and substance to it. I don't want to use the word meaningful right now because that is one of those tainted phrases for me. But yeah, taking a look at some of the stuff, it's a little repetitive. And I will admit, I participated in stupid, broken builds. So, when Borderlands 3 came out, the 1.0 patch,
Should be able to see the prison now.
there was a very interesting thing you could do with flak. Now, flak, any type of damage you did...
That's what she said. High five! Nobody?
Oh, I didn't get it this time. I always worry about the first jump in through there. The first time you go through that game, it's all fun and games. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I get to... You want me to talk to her again? Okay, I understand that. That makes a little bit of sense. But you keep having to go back and, like, repeat these little sections about talking to people. They're... In the speedrunning community, I'm going to specifically mention them. There's actually a segment that is all about saving and quitting to ignore Lilith's dialogue when you first get Sanctuary into space.
When you get inside the walls, find an echo transmitter so I know you made it.
Hello, you. Die. Die. Now, this is a product of its time for anybody watching this who might be a bit sensitive. The reason why is there is a lot of... I'm not going to say that they're directly homophobic, but yeah, it's definitely in that ballpark about some of the stuff that would be inappropriate or problematic.
Your only hope of getting Athena out is this little teleporter device she has.
So,
We were hit
just
so
being
fast
blunt,
she didn't get a chance to use it.
please be aware that this is a prison filled with all men who are overcompensating.
No doubt this is an over my dead body kind of situation for him, so don't feel bad when you have to kill him. Aim low.
Oh yeah, that was all me.
And like I said, just giving warning, because I'm expecting at least one person to comment on how bad this section is.
Attempting stealth? I mean, is this what stealth looks like to you?
On Pandora, yes.
And,
At least according to Claptrap in Borderlands 3.
all seen in like 14 years. The Chaz even made chili cheese fries. Chaz is really nice. Hey, I'm not into him. No way. And if you're looking for the girl, I can assure you she is unarmed. Shit, not that we wouldn't. I mean, we'd totally harm her. I'm thinking of harming her right now.
Like I said,
Chaz will come too.
this is what would be considered to be problematic today. But is very much a product of its time. Personally, I find this shit hilarious.
Oh my god, I'm so ticklish there. Oh, did I hit the transmit button? Oh, crap. Hey, yeah. So you're still gonna try to infiltrate my palace, huh? Death on your head and such.
As you can see, now that I'm rocking a double anarchy, even a slow double anarchy, I'm not that much in trouble anymore. Seriously, I enjoy this game way too much. Like, the entire series is enjoyable, but I think the reason I like playing this one so much when I do play it is because I don't sit down and play it all year long. Like, I know some people do with 3 and 2. And it's kind of like having something all the time versus having it every now and then. Makes having it every now and then like a fresh take on it. Just money, okay. So come up here. Poor K. Do I need to kill this one guy? It also makes it a little bit fun to rediscover what the hell I'm doing wrong again. And again. And again. Because I do this every year. And I have the same problems at the... Oh, here we go.
His pecs were rock hard. We used to joke that they could deflect bullets. I guess we can. Forge your own. Also, I'm pretty much totally gonna kill you now, by the way.
See? Went the wrong way. Happens every year. Every single year. For anyone who might be joining me for the first time, my name is Coolimp. I do what I call BorderQuest. It is an annual playthrough through all the Borderlands games, with Borderlands 1, the pre-sequel, 2, and 3. I do all the story-based DLC. I do not do any battle arenas. I find them personally boring.
Shank's gonna slit your throat. Shank's gonna suck your eyeballs out of their sockets with a straw. Shank's gonna...
Shank's gonna shank.
Mr. Shank. Should've got myself one of these a long time ago.
Hi, you.
Shank! I'm gonna kill you.
And again, he's another one of those bosses. I'm going to talk about annoying boss design when we get to the first real boss in
You actually
the pre-sequel.
I know I told you to,
But
I'm sorry. I need a minute. Go get the girl. I'll be in touch.
a charming moment. But anyways, he has some of the interesting boss design issues that occasionally happen in Borderlands game. There's a few bosses that are annoying because of where they're placed and the amount of damage they do and weaknesses. There is going to be... So, when we get to 2, we're going to see a whole bunch of these. But overall, you're not going to see me complain too much in this game because they were finding their groove in Borderlands 1. But as you get into Borderlands 2 and 3 and the pre-sequel, they should know some of these design issues ahead of time. Hostile and nothing good. Okay. Yes, I check every machine and I check every chest that I come across. You never know when you're going to find something nice. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about Borderlands 1 compared to 2, 3, and the pre-sequel. There are gray guns that are worth getting. Did I not pick up the teleporter? What? I picked it up. I hit the E. Alright, let me kill these guys real quick. So, one of the reasons I have a fond appreciation of the Double Anarchy is, first off, it's not a legendary weapon. Hold on one second. Brother is.
Okay, can I have your phone quick?
Yeah, sure. You're welcome. Easiest way to find a lost phone. Call it. But they were finding their groove on Borderlands 1. They should have had that groove found and been working in it hardcore by the time they got to 2, by the time they got to 3, the pre-sequel, and 3 doesn't have some of the annoying boss issues. I actually like a lot of the bosses in 3. Even Aurelia, which is a bitch of a character. Aurelia actually had some really, decent boss mechanics. There's nothing there that would prevent you from easily one-lifing it. And I say easy in quotations there. Whenever we take a look at it, this game has so many different places in it where you can lose a one life run because an enemy ran over you. And there's no way to avoid it. Like Dr. Ned can actually run you over like a car. And if you're doing like a one life run, that's it. What? I picked it up again! The hell, game? When I rewatch this, because I do rewatch my videos to see how they look, for some reason, my long stream, my first stream on Saturday, okay. Oh my, I did forget to pick it up. Okay, I'm an idiot. For some reason, my first stream for this year was massively. I don't know why. Whenever I got the file from Twitch, they downgraded to the 360, the 360p, and I'm like, oh my, this looks horrible. But my goal is on my YouTube channel to put up all of these videos, because I don't know another streamer or YouTuber that does this. BorderQuest, at least at the moment, is like my own little thing, which is, I don't know about other people. The YouTube game and the Twitch streaming game is kind of interesting because you kind of have to have some type of gimmick. Not just an open, not just a close, but the whole thing, you kind of have to have some type of gimmick. I do not have that. And here is another moment where we do not run all the way back to T-Bone Junction. We're going to save and quit the game. But yeah, this seems to be, I seem to be the only person doing this. I haven't heard of anyone else who does a full gameplay, full series playthrough every single year. Now, granted, you know what? It's probably not something a lot of people are really interested in. But you know what? I like doing it, and that's what matters.
Hello, Marcos
Yes, here. I have an opportunity for you.
Come see
I'm
me
not
at my
going to
place
waste any
in
time.
T-Bone
There are two
Junction.
objectives that must be fulfilled to destroy the
Hey
army.
man, Scooter
Number
here.
one,
I could sure use
construct
you to
a
get out and do
detonator.
I don't care about the
it.
lieutenants.
Bombs.
Come on in,
Store
I'll
them.
give you
You
another
should
job.
start your investigation for lab.
Hello, traveler. On the T-Bone Junction bounty board.
See all that wiggle? That's because the physics in the game are kind of messed up. You can put it next to the bed. That'll work too. All that wiggle is because of the physics.
Tired of shooting a carbine when you really want to?
I don't care about killing the lieutenants. I just want to get the game. So when I rank the games, I have to rank them like best to worst. And this is worse, not out of any like significant flaws that it has, but of the four mainline games, 1, pre-sequel, 2, and 3, this one is the least polished. It has some amazing content to it. Don't get me wrong there. I'm not trying to say that it's a shit game or anything like that.
New missions available on the T-Bone Junction bounty board.
But overall, compared to other games in the series, it's the least polished, and that lack of polish is why it gets put down at the bottom of the list. Even though it has my favorite weapon in it. And I was talking about it briefly before I got distracted by something else. That weapon, you can get a white, whatever. You can get a white double anarchy, and it will carry you up until about right now. The first year I started doing doing BorderQuest, I actually had that happen to me. I picked up a double anarchy at level 9, and I did the DLC in the I still didn't do it in the right order, but I did this one before I did and I'm talking about the DLC order here. I did this DLC first, and I got here around level 34. And because I did that, that level 9 SMG carried me all the way up until about right now. I was like level 34, 35, and that's when it started to fail me. And it's only because the DPS had suddenly shot down.
Just need the access code for today. No, Derek. It was your day to have the access code. I'm on personal ice cream leave of absence. Code 3.5.31 in the manual clearly states. Then where is the code? Oh, you had it. I saw you. No, that is bad. Oh, I screwed up big time.
This is kind of a funny moment. That's the reason I'm being quiet.
I might have played hooky to go check out the world's largest bullet. I think I left it there. Left the access code. Something that jeopardizes all of our lives. That's all of them at the world's largest bullet? Yes, correct. I got ice cream. Ice cream.
So, to point that out, that is a completely cynical worldview that he has. And cynical might not be the right word, but it's what I'm going to call it. Who cares? I get ice cream. Let's see. I got to... Yeah, I can go down here. This will be the place. I know a few soldiers, like straight up vets, who will have the same type of mentality. Not my circus, not my monkeys. I get ice cream today. I know a few guys like that.
Haven't you tried Engorge yet? What's stopping you? Side effects? Are a few seeping boils going to stop you from satisfying the woman you can never obtain? It's time to try Engorge.
Now, some of the writing in this particular segment is amazing.
The mission is on schedule. The detonator should be prepared by the time you have acquired the code.
Engorge, the only product ever to be personally endorsed by notorious ladies man, Mr. Shank.
Yeah, so this shit is tits, guys. You should see what my bitch thinks of me now. Her name is Nina, and she...
Like I said, this segment of the run always contains the worst things for what people consider to be problematic content. I think some of it's funny. But I grew up in an era where there were a lot of games that had inappropriate names, but we still played them because that's just what you did. Yeah, this is another save quit moment. And because of that, I don't take any offense to it. And I'm not going to go much further than that because I actually do have a family member in the chat, and I don't like to get super in-depth about stuff like that on camera. But I can tell you that some of this stuff, I know a few guys who thinks this stuff is hilarious because the overcompensation, although it's a trope, is a real-world thing that happens to a lot of closeted gay guys. Like, you get one of them, in my personal experience, if you get a gay guy to come out to you, and he hasn't come out to his family, But I only say that, story mission, yeah. And that has to do with, my family don't know a lot about what goes on privately, and I keep it that way on purpose. And for anyone who knows, I am very happily married. And I'm getting off on a ramble here. But that whole closeted overcompensation shit, I find to be hilarious. And the gay people I know in my life thinks it's hilarious. And it's because it's a truth. And from what I know, from what they have told to me, to be more specific, that is very much a real world thing, and the overcompensation vibes that they got off of that character were real. And they were laughing at it because of how accurate that happens to be. But again, experiences may differ, blah, 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 blah. No, Crimson Lance, you're not going to shoot me. My goodness. Come on. There we go. Oh, that happens every now and then. That's alright. But yeah, the overcompensating trope is a real thing, and I know some people don't like to hear stuff like that, but it's true. Like, if shows can make fun of it because it's that such a common thing, you're pretty, like, even non-offensive show like Scrubs have made fun of that. And I think this came out before Scrubs did? Don't remember? Aha! I got off on a long rant there, didn't I? Yeah, I still think that segment can be what some people describe as problematic, but overall, it's a fun game. It was never meant to be taken seriously, and that's kind of the thing that a lot of people, whenever they're playing video games these days, some people just, they don't have that disconnect. Like, take Horizon Forbidden West. Another streamer, I heard him bitching about how much content is in the game and how long some of the side missions are. I don't know about other gamers, so I'm going to speak on behalf of myself. I do not want to go back to an era where the way that you extend your content is by putting in a challenge mode. You double the health of the boss. Once you double the health of the boss, the player deals half damage. Nope, did not make it this time. You double the health of the boss. The player does half damage. Oh, wow, I'm all the way back over here. The player does half damage. And the boss resists your attacks. So, you're not dealing with just having to do twice the damage or even 4 times the damage. You have to do 8 times the damage. And this is actually a specific game that does that. Damage reduction. Not only damage reduction, but increased health. And player does reduce damage. Very, very annoying to do it on the critical mode. And there's a lot to be said for some of those playthroughs for games like that. They can be a lot of fun. But I don't want games to go back to this type of mentality where their way of giving you additional playthroughs is not by giving you something that's truly difficult or giving you content that has side notes to it, that's world building. What they want you to do is they want the game to basically say, well, you're going to have a really good reward if you take this. No. How about you play it and figure it out if you like it? Like, the person I'm talking about right now is... He's a lolcow. That's what the fuck he is. He's someone who, for the longest of time, people don't come to his stream anymore to watch him play a game and be successful. They watch to see him rage, to see his hot takes, and then they mock him for his hot takes, and he doesn't even recognize that he's being insulted. Like, that's some of the more annoying stuff. And, like, someone literally said, your stream cured my depression. And I'm like, how is... And he reads that off, and he's like, oh, I don't want to take any credit for that. That's kind of like all on you, man. But thank you for being here, and thank you for enjoying my streams.
You would not believe the shit I have to put up with. Okay? The Admiral just made me French toast out of a sock. It's a friggin' gum.
And I'm sitting here, I'm watching his... watching his stream, and I'm like, okay, look, you completely missed the point of, like, Horizon and Elden Ring, Dying Light, hell, Pokemon. Like, Pokemon Legends Arceus, that's a good game. There's a lot of content to have in that game. And you could sit down, so Pokemon Arceus, I have 77 hours in. And I have a completed Pokedex. I don't have a perfect one because forget that noise. We're about to get another invasion here. So you have no reason if you want to not to do a perfect Pokedex. But if you want to get the proper ending to the game, you have to catch all 244 Pokemon, I think it is. You have to catch them all. And because Arceus is not your traditional gameplay with a Pokemon game, you get this moment where you can actually play it differently, where you can collect all of them on a single save, and you don't have to do any shenanigans or hope you get a trade that lets you trade the Pokemon in for another one, and and level and do trades and level ups a specific way and stuff like that. Some of the evolutions you still have to do that, but nonetheless. Give me one moment. I'm going to be right back. I need to get some water. But I will be back about this subject. Stop being a fussy bitch. So, he's talking about game length. And essentially saying, that any side quest should be meaningful. And it's the reason I've been avoiding that word. all the side content should be meaningful. If you're going to spend 45 minutes on a side mission, it should give me some type of significant reward. And the only thing I could think of is, okay, look, my dude, that is not how this works. If you're enjoying the game to enjoy the game, regardless of the quality of the reward, you should be enjoying the game. There should be no moment where you're going, well, I love the story, but I got a bad bow, so I don't like this content. And that's where you see people like me just totally disconnect from your style of content. That's a bad take. And it's not even like it's one of those takes that are bad because it's like misinformed. Like the whole EGS thing from a couple years ago, the Epic Games Store, and whenever Borderlands 3 was coming out, there was a lot of talk about how EGS is spyware, and that's the Epic Games Store. I think I said it, but I want to be perfectly clear. But really, Steam does the same thing. Just the primary company is in the United States instead of in a foreign country. That's it. Steam does the exact same thing. Collects your data and uses it to tailor advertisements to you and so forth and so on. EGS is neither the first company or going to be the last company to do that kind of stuff. But there were a lot of people acting like, yeah, that's all they're doing. And the content about this, it gets so strange. But his like hot takes are bad takes. Like even for like general, like people who don't know gaming have better takes on stuff than he does. And it's like, oh, this guy's a professional streamer over here. And it's like, no. The dude is attempting to be an entertainer. He's not a gamer, that's for sure. But you should be enjoying any game that you play. I enjoy playing this. Like, I'm going to get done before my bedtime tonight. And my bedtime is midnight now. Midnight Central Standard Time. True. Like I said, the hate watching is a toxic thing that happens. His takes, though, it's some of the strangest stuff, too. A really good example of it. I know Kermit remembers Wizards and Warriors 3. Wizards and Warriors 3 was a very specific game from my childhood. I love Wizards and Warriors as a game. And I'm going to get back to what I was actually talking about here in a moment, about content and about how long it should be. Wizards and Warriors, the way that it kept you coming back and playing it again, is once you were done with your 3 lives, that was the end of the game. There was no continues. You hit your lives, you don't have any extra lives left over, game over. And the reason it did that is because the Nintendo had a lot of limitations on it. And those limitations required a way to have replayability. Since the game didn't have some overwhelmingly striking curves like Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, or 3 did, what happens is you have to find a way to get those games to be long-lasting. Let's see. Nah, I'm level up repeater. And so what would happen with that is the game itself would limit the number of lives and continues you have. Now, you could earn up a lot of gold, and then you could spend that gold to buy more lives. You could use it to buy more health. And that's where you hit the catch. The game was incredibly difficult. It's meant to be. Yeah. That's what I thought. But the cat, it gave you a balance to it. But the actual gameplay of that game, if you know where you're going, if you've mapped out everything, that game is only about 3 hours. No joke. The entirety of that game is about 3 hours once you cut away, once you like map it out. The first time you're playing through it, you're probably going to take around 40 to 50 hours. And for a game that was about $30 at the time, absolutely, you've earned your value for that game back. But let's take something like modern gaming. Let's take a look at, like, Horizon. Horizon's a good one. Take a look at Horizon. If you only had 20 hours of content and you played $60 for a game, do not tell me that you're going to be satisfied with that. My wife and I talk about my grading system. All games have a dollar value to me. And not just like a, I paid this much money type of value to it. I rate games off of an hourly amount that I played the game. So, a game that I play for 60 hours is a dollar game. We always bought our games secondhand, brother. But what I was saying. So I rate games off of that time scale. What I expect is for a dollar game. So I have to play every game that I buy, and I have to enjoy it. If not, it's purposeless. I have to play 60 hours and enjoy the game. Now, with that said, Wizards and Warriors 3 is a nickel game. Because I played a lot of it. I enjoyed a lot of it. I'm not worried about inflation. That's not the point. You're focusing on the wrong thing. But what I expect out of a game is I expect $1 for a dollar an hour game. And whenever we get to that point in a lot of these games, a lot of games don't actually have that. And someone trying to tell me to go back to a time when games were... No, I don't want to do that one. Oh, BYCO. Okay. There we go. And going back to a game where it's now, you want to say, oh, well, let's take it back to a time when everything was just given to you. Oh, no, not even that. Final Fantasy VII Remake has plenty of content to it. It has plenty of side content. It has plenty of main game content. You want a platinum trophy? You have 80 hours worth of content. I super don't care about looting the armory, by the way. But because of that, I have a very jaded opinion when someone says, well, everything has to be meaningful. No! Some gameplay can just be gameplay. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave. This is the last of Borderlands 1. Some of the gameplay can just be gameplay. Some of the fun can just be fun. Not everything has to have divine meaning to it. And I think that's where this dude loses the script on on the gameplay is that I like to just have fun with the games. If I can sit down and play a game for 80 hours, like take Destiny to Witch Queen, the Rise of the Witch Queen, whatever it's called. I have played 80 hours in the last 2 weeks on that game. I think the money I spent for the DLC, well spent. Like, I've never been able to get out of here alive, by the way. I think the money was well spent. And I got a collector's edition, a digital deluxe edition of the game. So I got a few extra exotics in it. And you know what's going to happen on Tuesday? While I'm in between doing stuff at work, I'm probably going to be playing some more Destiny 2. Getting my weeklies done. Why? Because I enjoy doing it. Same thing applies to other games that I play. Pokemon? I'm probably going to play more Pokemon. They released a new patch with more outbreaks that are available. Gives me a chance to get some shinies that I don't have. But oh my, don't have a secret. It is not even a secret ending. Don't have an ending that requires you to play through the game and collect all the Pokemon in a Pokemon game.
You only have 30 seconds left.
No, that's too much. Like, if you sit down, like, part of the issue I think that some people have with gaming is the amount of time that they spend playing video games is significantly different than what they want to have, what they appear they want to do.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know the exit. You haven't told me where it is.
5, 4, 3,
2, 1. And I explode. Exactly. And, like Dying Light. Dying Light is a open world game with a lot of stuff in it. A lot of upgrades in it. Elden Ring. Elden Ring was advertised as an open world game. Meant entirely for the fans of Dark Souls games and Bloodborne players. All of it was meant for them. And guess what? The fans love it. It is one of the best-selling games right now. And I'm pretty sure if you take a look at the charts, it's probably sold anywhere between 2 to 15 million copies. And I give such a wide berth because the game is in the collective consciousness now. Just like the Dark Souls games was. And you're saying that there's too much to do? No! That's your fault. I don't like Skyrim because Skyrim doesn't have the way that you level up in that game is significantly lower than what it takes to get to the main content. You must do side content. You have to do side quests to level up so you can kill that first troll on the 1,000 steps. And that's exactly where I stopped, is at the 1,000 steps. But never tell me that there's not enough content. Because there's plenty of content in Skyrim. It's just not my game. Oh, I'm not exiting out the desktop. But with that, my rant is over. I could talk about this for hours. You can ask Kermit there. You get me on the right subject and I won't shut the fuck up. Not for hours. So, with that, Borderlands 1 for Year of the Soldier is completed. Starting tomorrow, we will begin Borderlands the pre-sequel. We will be playing as Wilhelm, as he is the obvious soldier working directly for Handsome Jack. Inside of Borderlands 2, we will, of course, be playing Axton. And then for Borderlands 3, it will be Moze. I will repeat this information sometime in the future when I finish each game, and I apologize. It is a little repetitious, but it's something I kind of want to get over. But with that said, I do want to say I appreciate everyone who's been here hanging out with me. True. Absolutely true. But yeah, I hope everyone will be able to make it out tomorrow night. I do intend to play about 9 p.m. Central Time, and I'll probably be streaming for anywhere between 2 to 3 hours. And we'll begin with Borderlands the pre-sequel tomorrow. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day it may happen to be for you, and may joy be to every last one of you.